JMU Athletics and the JMU Alumni Association are teaming up to bring you this free Matazone HD Sportsnet feature presentation. From Harrisonburg, Virginia, the campus of James Madison University, we welcome you to NCAA Women's Basketball, live from the JMU Convocation Center, where today the James Madison Dukes host the Braves of Alcorn State in a clash between purples and golds. Today's game is being presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association, Comcast Sportsnet, the JMU Graduate School, Intellos Wireless, the JMU Bookstore, Residence Inn, and Fox Hill Townhomes. Very pleasant, good Sunday afternoon. It is very chilly outside, but warm here in the Convo. I'm Kurt Dudley, joined courtside today with John Simpson as the Dukes. They're off to a 3-0 start for the third time in 5 years, and today host a first-time foe in the 1-3 Braves of Alcorn State. This will also mark the first time the Dukes have ever played a team from the Southwestern Athletic Conference, also known as the SWAC. The Braves have been just that in the opposition they've faced thus far. Very brave, but they've come up with losses to Central Arkansas, Colorado, and Illinois, all of them on the road. The Braves' lone victory came on their own campus in Lorman, Mississippi. That was a 50-45 triumph over Nebraska-Omaha. John, for the Dukes of James Madison, they on Thursday, they wrapped up their get-back tour.
Oh, the get-back tour is how some people are liking to call it. Coach Brooks, let's start with that. Coach Brooks has had a great tenure here as head coach of JMU. He's had 8 straight seasons of 24 more wins, and to get that 9th straight year, he started off on a good foot. The 3 wins, they beat UVA at home to open the year the same night as the men, who traveled to Charlottesville to play as well. Then they defeated Liberty on the road, and then traveled to Richmond to defeat the Spiders. JMU getting those first 3 wins, so they took care of business. This time around this year, JMU looking very good early on after they had those preseason accolades. This team looking to do some big things this year.
Well, the Dukes coming in with those wins. They did lose to all 3 of those opponents last year, Virginia, Liberty, and Richmond. But coming into today's ball game, certainly feeling very good about themselves. And as I mentioned, looking for the 4th time in 5 years now, or 6 years, I should say, that they will go for a 4-0 start. There's Kirby Burkholder. She has been red hot as well. In fact, she has had double-doubles in each of the first 3 games of the season. In fact, she had an off night. Only 20 points and 10 rebounds in the victory over Richmond on Thursday.
Well, if you want to call that an off night, she leads the team in points per game and rebounds, 22.3 points per game, and averaging about 13 rebounds a game. It's her senior year. She's put together quite the resume, the local product out of Turner Ashby High School in Bridgewater, Virginia. She's looking to lead the Dukes to victory today, but she does have a good supporting cast around her as well.
Yes, she does, and of course, much of that, her former high school teammate, Nikki Newman. Nikki back in the saddle this year. She missed all but 7 games last year with an injury, and she hasn't really provided a lot of offensive spark, but she does a lot of those things on the floor that you'll never see show up in the box score, but you do see it if you come here to the Convocation Center and watch the Dukes and watch Nikki play. She influences a lot of the action out on the floor. Dukes with today's home game, and then it's on to Florida next weekend, and their next opponent will be a big name school as they'll face the Bruins of UCLA, and that'll be on the other side of Thanksgiving. Yesterday, the JMU men's basketball Dukes were on the road. They will be on the road again. I think Willie Nelson's been traveling with them this year, as that's been the lot for them. Yesterday, unfortunately, without the services of Ron Curry as well as Andrei Semenoff with that young squad, fell to Valparaiso in Valpo, Indiana. The final score of 81-40. That was yesterday afternoon on the men's circuit. And the Dukes will be at Winthrop coming up on Wednesday night. Back to women's basketball. The Dukes, the only team in the league that is yet to face a loss, as the Dukes 3-0. There have been no conference games played yet. We'll have a few of those coming up around the corner. And the Dukes at 3-0, Northeastern 4-1. It's Delaware at 3-1. Drexel is 2-2. The College of Charleston, the newcomer to the league, at 2-3. Hofstra 2-3, and 1-4 for Towson, UNCW, William and Mary at 0-4. Only one other game today involving a CA team, and that is Tina Martin's Delaware Blue Hens are facing the Bronx of Ryder, and that in New Jersey. There you see JMU. Well, that's JMU head coach Kenny Brooks, of course, chatting with the head coach Tanya Edwards of the Braves of Alcorn State. And Coach Brooks certainly with an outstanding record in his 12 years here, 255 wins, 106 losses. And that translates into a 70% winning percentage, which is outstanding there for the Dukes of James Madison.
And the Dukes at home all time looking for win number 347 today, 346 and 83 all time here at the Convocation Center, good for just over an 800 win percentage. So to say that's impressive might be an understatement of sorts. Head coach Kenny Brooks, a couple times his teams have had winning streaks of 30 games plus. They're at 1 now at that win to start the year at home against UVA after they lost to the University of Florida and the WNIT last season to end their season.
As for this team from Mississippi, actually the second time that JMU will be hosting the Braves in college athletics. Last year, Alcorn came up with the football team, and JMU won that game, but they had a great season. 8-3 did the Braves finish this year out of the SWAC, and certainly have had an outstanding season, getting after last year kind of struggling somewhat, trying to get that ship upright as well. For this team, Tiara Frost, a senior from Waynesboro, Mississippi, a 5'9 senior. She leads the team at 15.8 points per game, 6.5 rebounds. Other than that, well, you got a lot of, well, low numbers distributed rather evenly among the squad.
There are other players on the team. No one else averages over 5 points a game for Alcorn State. They've had trouble early on. They've played at the University of Colorado. Then they lost kind of a blowout game at the University of Illinois before coming here to Harrisonburg. So we'll see what kind of composure they come in here to the Convocation Center with today. That'll be an interesting thing to take note of throughout the game.
And this team also features a lot of players that started their their collegiate careers at the junior college level. Bobby Britt from Washington Community College, also Kiara Frost as well as Tiara Frost, both from Jones Community College out of Waynesboro, Mississippi. Got a couple players from Memphis, Tennessee as well. And you also see that, well, Vicksburg, Mississippi also represented by Courtney Cooper, a 5'5 junior for this team. And again, the first time that JMU facing a team from the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Well, Start Wearing Purple today has a whole new meaning because everybody's wearing purple in the facility, both teams wearing the purple and gold, although the gold for Alcorn State a little different shade than that of JMU. It's more towards a yellow, where the Dukes is much more towards the Vegas gold, we call it. And really, Alcorn State wearing a yellow much closer to what JMU used to represent as its school colors. And so we may have to keep them separate. Of course, the Dukes with their white uniforms today, so that'll make it relatively easy for us this afternoon. Want to thank you for logging on to JMUsports.com and joining yours truly and John Simpson here on Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented to you absolutely free of charge through the JMU Alumni Association. As the Dukes, they head towards the bench. You see Joe Cunningham, the sheriff Tony Lippa, and Andrew Bills, the officials for today's matchup. Tony, the one that has his back to you right there. And a crowd of locals here today. School is out for the fall session. And right now, let's take you to center court, where Kenny Brooks, the head coach of the JMU Dukes, is recognizing Kirby Burkholder, who on November 8th against Virginia, she hit her 1,000th career point, becoming the 26th player in the JMU sports women's basketball history to reach that milestone. Kirby, a local product, as she played at Turner Ashby High School along with Nikki Newman. Nikki's a year older. But Kirby, who during her freshman year did not play much, came in, got off to an extremely slow start, had shin splints during a rookie campaign, but certainly has exploded onto the scene and is now the CAA preseason player of the year. Now the national anthem here at the Convocation Center. James Madison University Pep Band. Wonder how many of those folks will be boarding the bus on Tuesday to join the Marching Royal Dukes at the Thanksgiving Macy's Day Parade as they're joining us. They'll be joining them on Thursday bright and early. And now let's take a look at our starting lineups. And first of all, it will be the Braves of Alcorn State. And it looks like we have a little bit of a technical issue across the way with our public address system. Here we go. Mr. Cavanaugh got his voice back over there. Here we go. Starting lineups. John Simpson will have them for you here. John?
Starting at guard for Alcorn State, number 12 out of Vicksburg, Mississippi, Courtney Cooper. At forward, the 6-foot freshman from San Diego, California, Angelica Wilson-Reed. At guard, number 15, the 6'3 sophomore from Grand Prairie, Texas, Other Set. And at guard, the 5'8 junior from Waynesboro, Mississippi, and formerly Jones Community College, Kiero Frost. And her twin sister, number 24, the 5'9 senior, also from Waynesboro, Mississippi, Tiero Frost, wearing number 24.
And again, Tanya Edwards, the head coach of the Braves from Alcorn State. Again, coming into today's matchup, 1-3 overall, facing the 3-0 Dukes of James Madison. And now the starting lineup for the Dukes. Once again, John Simpson.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Fans are on their feet. We're ready for basketball here. Starting at guard, the redshirt senior from Turner Ashby High School in Bridgewater, Virginia, Nikki Newman. At center, the transfer from Providence, the redshirt junior, number 33, Lauren Okafor. At guard, the 5'8 sophomore from Tallahassee, Florida, out of the McClay School, number 12, Precious Hall. Starting in the backcourt as well, the senior, also from Turner Ashby High School. She got recognized for her 1,000 points scored earlier this year, Kirby Burkholder. And rounding out the starting lineup for the James Madison University Dukes, the redshirt sophomore from Bealton, Virginia, Jasmine Guathny.
Kenny Brooks, the head coach, his 12th season with the Dukes, 255 wins, 106 losses. 92 graduate of the Dukes. In fact, it was 24 years ago today that Kenny Brooks was the starting point guard for the Dukes against the North Carolina Tar Heels in a game that was played in Maui, Hawaii. The Dukes lost that game as the Tar Heels came back in the closing seconds and just did nip Coach Lefty Drizel's squad. There's some of the key numbers for today's ball game. You see the Dukes putting up quite a considerable number of points comparatively to Alcorn State.
And one stat that's not up there, three-point field goal percentage. Alcorn State shooting just 13% from three this year. So it'll be interesting to see three Dukes are shooting over 40% from the floor. Angela Mickens, Nikki Newman, and Kirby Burkholder all over the 40% mark. So defense will be key in this game. JMU also a great rebounding squad as well. They have a plus 15 advantage going into this game. Alcorn State averaging 33 rebounds per contest. JMU just over 48.
What's kind of amazing is Kirby Burkholder averaging 13 rebounds herself from a guard position, and just that alone, you get that plus some change is what the differential is between the rebounding margin, that is, between the Dukes and the opposition thus far, and those were all very good rebounding teams, Liberty, Virginia, and Richmond. As we're underway, the Dukes went the opening tap, and Precious Hall will hand it off to Burkholder. Around the perimeter it goes. As Jasmine Guathny, very athletic, comes up high now. Okafor. Okafor has had some issues with fouls, so see if she can stay in the game a little longer here today than what she has thus far, and the long rebound does come out.
First shot for Kirby Burkholder, the leading scorer for the Dukes, misses left out of bounds. Alcorn State ball early on here in the first half.
Bringing it up the court is Cooper. Well, ball knocked away. Wilson-Reed. Now on the right side again, it's Cooper coming up high. Left side, here's the shot off the back of the iron. Rebound, Precious Hall. Dukes want to run. Dukes all getting into the lane to Okafor, and she'll lay it up on the nice assist by P. Hall.
Lauren Okafor in the first year for JMU had to sit out last season after she transferred from Providence. Gets the first points of the night, or afternoon rather, for JMU.
Dukes in the man-to-man defensively. Cooper, here's the long-range tray. It's well off the mark, and a rebound, number 1 for Kirby Burkholder. Precious Hall will bring it up.
And if the early season is any indicator, rebound number 1, she still has a long way to go to reach whatever total she might come to tonight.
Absolutely. And that ball taken away. Nicely done there by Cooper. Here she comes up the floor, but she's got Nikki Newman beside her, and she's going to protect the basketball rather well as Cooper lays it up for 2. And we're tied at 2. Less than 2 in. Ball will drive. Gwathmey finds the lane. Burkholder sets up, drop back 3. Rebound, Gwathmey back up and in.
Jasmine Gwathmey getting points for herself after she caused a turnover in that last possession.
Gives the Dukes a 4-2 advantage. And an inadvertent trip. Ball's thrown out of bounds. Kiara Frost looking for a foul called as she turned the corner and tripped over Burkholder. No whistle was blown except to stop play as it'll be a turnover for the Braves. Hall, Gwathmey, foul line extended, and she drives to the basket. Tony Lippa calls the foul. It'll be a couple of free throws coming up for Jasmine Gwathmey.
Free throw line is where the Dukes are excelling early on in the season. They're 62 of 77 from the free throw line early on, good for an 80% clip.
Monty Tatum with the foul, her first, team foul number 1. Here's Gwathmey at the free throw line. Check that, I had other set with the foul. Gwathmey, second shot. After 1 out of 2. Ball knocked out of bounds, and the Dukes with a restart.
Nikki Newman went hard into the board over there. We'll see if she's all right. The Dukes in man-to-man early on defense here this afternoon.
Frost. This is Tierra back up high it goes. Sepp here on the left wing. Kiara Frost charged for steps. Newman with the inbound for JMU. A little pressure in the backcourt here, but easily broken as Precious Hall will come up to meet the pass. Hall looking for a screen. She gets it. Oops, Okafor turned her back, and Precious Hall throws it out of bounds.
Nobody home on that pass, as they like to call it. Seen 2 passes like that. Alcorn State had the tripping earlier, so 2 turnovers now for the Dukes.
Jasmine Cunningham checks in, a freshman out of Memphis, Tennessee from Hillcrest for the visiting Braves. Driving past Tierra Frost up to the glass. Rebound Okafor. Gwathmey on the run right side. She was facing 2 Brave defenders. Trying to pass it inside is Burkholder. She somehow dribbles away through it all, comes out. Ball not yet on the, and there's a foul called on Nikki Newman as Jasmine Cunningham coming out of the pack with the ball out in front of her.
Tough luck foul for Nikki Newman. That ball was kind of bouncing around for a while there, as you see, kind of reached in right there on the monitor. First team foul for the Dukes.
And that's on Nikki Newman. And in the lineup for the Dukes, Angela Muff-Mickens, number 32, 5'7" sophomore from Stanton's Ari Lee, averaging 8 points a game. And more impressively, 6 assists per game, I should say.
The second on the team in minutes coming off the bench so far this year. Hasn't started a game, but providing very quality depth for Coach Brooks' squad.
Came just shy of a triple-double in the last outing against Richmond. She gets into the paint, kicks it out. Precious Hall, three-pointer, rattles in for Hall. Three-pointer number 4 on the season for P. Hall, and the Dukes up by 6, 8-2.
JMU on offense doing a good job of penetrating in the lane and dishing out to open teammates on the wing, as you saw there.
On the right wing, and we're going to get a foul. Or is it on the baseline? I don't know. We're going to get a foul called. It's going to be a charge against Cunningham. That's her first team foul number 2. Timeout on the floor here at the JMU Convocation Center. Our early score, Madison 8, Alcorn State 2. Back with more after this timeout. You're watching JMU Women's Basketball on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association.
Instead of asking yourself, where did those 4 years go? Think about where the next 40 will take you. Be involved at Madison. Dukes from day one, alumni for life.
If you love hearing about JMU, subscribe to Madison Update, the e-newsletter of the JMU Alumni Association. Madison Update provides monthly news covering events and programs on campus and features of alumni and university success. Subscribe to Madison Update at jmu.edu/alumni. Some of the early numbers in this game. Well, first of all, the scoring total is 8-2 JMU. 1 for 5 from the field are the Braves. The Dukes 3 for 5, 1 of 3 on three-pointers. And the Dukes with the early advantage on the glass at 5-1.
JMU in that rebounding margin that we talked about before the broadcast. Kurt doing a good job. You said the 5 rebounds to 1 for Alcorn State. So if that trend holds, JMU will get those opportunities to get out on the fast break, maybe kick it to one of the transition wing players or guards for JMU. Now Angela Mickens brings the ball up the floor.
Dukes are averaging 21 offensive rebounds per game. While doing a nice job on the defensive glass, they've only yielded 28 defensive rebounds. And stepping to the court and getting into the action right away is junior Toya Jiggets, former Titan at Lake Taylor High School in Norfolk. She stands at 6 even in her junior campaign, averaging 7.7 points per game. She's got her first 2 today. And Dukes come away with a defensive board. Newman spots up. Now Hall. Now Precious too early in the shot clock to take that 3.
Alcorn State in a transition 3-2 defense here with a little man-to-man mixed in.
Here's the drive for Newman. Dished off to Jiggets, and Burkholder over the back. That'll be the first on Kirby. Team foul number 2.
No-brainer call right there. She had the height advantage, but kind of put her left arm as a support to get up for that rebound. Easy over the back call for the official.
Courtney Cooper back in, has 2 points. 5'5" junior, Vicksburg, Mississippi. Popping out high, it's Frost. Tiro with it. Tried to wrap it, the pass around, knocked away and stolen away by Mickens. Mickens hard on the contact, bounces off the floor, and she's up. Although she may also be smarting a little bit as she hit that right shoulder pretty hard on the contact.
Looked like she hit her head too. A big collision right there under the basket. As we take a look back here, she gets away with the steal, drives down, knows the defender's behind her. Went out of camera, but she hit her head very hard on the floor.
So 2 shots for Angela Mickens. Front end is short. Couple of substitutes coming in. Anastasia Toussaint for the Braves. The Dukes also make a sub as Ross has come in for Madison. Dukes get the offensive board, and that'll be a charge on Precious Hall. Crystal Ross is a 6'3" junior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Smyrna High School over in Delaware. She's on the court for the Dukes now. Came in and gave the Dukes some very quality minutes, particularly off the glass against Richmond on Thursday. Step back, here's the baseline jumper, no good. Ross gets the defensive board, gets over to Precious Hall. Hall on the run, finds Burkholder. Burkholder drives in the paint, scoops it up, draws contact. It did not fall for Burkholder, who somehow managed to find the ball up towards the cylinder.
A great weave move there. She splits the two defenders, gets the ball up, just has it bounce off the back rim, but she's going to the line for two.
Kiara Frost called for the foul. That'll be her first. 2 shots for Burkholder. Kirby's on the board as she averages at the free throw line 92%. And she misses as I talk about it. Back up with it, Toya Jiggets. Powers it back. Toya with her second field goal. She has 4, 13-2. It's an 11-0 run for James Madison, as we at one time were tied at 2-2. Top of the circle. And the long-range 3 is good. Dropping that one in is Tierra Frost.
The leading scorer, 15 points per game, showing you why with the range there on the three-pointer.
Ball will drive, drops it off for Ross. An easy bucket for the junior, who's averaging 4.5 rebounds off the bench for the Dukes, in addition to 2.5 points. Well, she's got points, and she's got a rebound already.
We've got the battle of number 12s here, Precious Hall and Courtney Cooper going against each other.
Out front, Frost on the drive now. Henrietta Wells, who checked in last stoppage of play, averaging 3.5 points, the same on rebounds. She's another one of the Memphis products. Crystal Ross gathers that foul, her first, team foul number 4. And Wells drops in the free throw.
Henrietta Wells and Angelica Wilson-Reed, both freshmen, both playing big minutes in their rookie campaigns for Alcorn State. Wilson-Reed leads the team with 7.5 rebounds per game.
Second shot good by Wells. So the 6'2 rookie's on the board with a couple of points. 15-7, a little run working now for the Braves. Angela Mickens, what a screen out front by Jiggets. Scoops the pass, Ross turns and shoots, no good. A rebound hauled in
for the
Braves.
Jasmine Gloffy wide open on the wing. Just missed her there though.
Cunningham working against Gwathmey. Gwathmey gets a hand on it, and that opens that up for Mickens. Mickens again, well, deja vu, didn't hit the floor quite as hard this time.
She had her hands out ready, bracing for impact. She knew the hit was coming. Good job by Angela Mickens there to get out on the break. 2 steals for her, where she's gone on the fast break, and she's trying to make it count at the line. Missed both her free throws last time there.
That foul on Courtney Cooper. Mickens missing. Duke's coming in as a free throw shooting unit, 80%. Of course, Burkholder bolts that with her 92%, and that's after a considerable number of opportunities in the early going this season for Kirby. Sepp back in, and Wilson-Reed returning back in, another freshman for this team out of San Diego, California. They go coast to coast. Do the Braves. Second miss. And off the end line, says Tony Lippa. Duke's going to put a little pressure on in the backcourt. With the 8-point lead. Sepp picks up the dribble. Shot clock down to 23. Just does get it across the timeline, does Cooper. Then knocked away. Turnover.
Yeah, you had an Alcorn State player on the baseline right there. Jasmine Gloffme knew she was behind her. So see right here is coming down the sideline. Great hands by Gloffme, and it went off the Alcorn State player. Other Sepp, and now Jamie ball.
Destiny Jones has reported in for the Dukes, 6-footer, a sophomore from Miramar, Florida. Rattling in and out, the three-point try by Gwathmey. Jones gets it to roll. Destiny, a 3.3 average in points, 2.3 rebounds per game. gets that board, puts it back in. Duke's getting some second chance opportunities.
First foul on Angelica Wilson-Reed, the freshman out of San Diego, California.
Got a little contact issue now for Destiny Jones. She needs to replace it in her right eye. Angela Mickens with some encouraging words there. Jones off the back of the iron. Cunningham tracks down the floorboard. Cooper popping up high. Set here on the left wing, right in front of us with a basketball. It was Littlejohn. She also recently checked in. Lindsay Littlejohn, a 5'10 sophomore from Fairfield, California. And the air ball off the end line. Timeout on the floor. 17-7. James Madison with the lead. Back with more as you're watching JMU women's basketball on this Sunday afternoon on Madison HD Sportsnet. Presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association.
Visit the James Madison University Bookstore, your source for all things JMU. Get your official Duke gear. Open after every football game. The JMU Bookstore. Support the team.
.11:56 to play in the first half. JMU 17. Alcorn State 7. JMU 7 for 13 from the floor, 53.8%. For the Braves, 2 of 9. Dukes with 6 second chance points. None for the Braves. There's Precious Hall with her three-pointer. Burkholder missing. And Toya Jiggets with the strong putback with the right hand. And a three-pointer from the top for the Braves.
Tiero Frost is going to be a handful today for the Dukes on defense, the leading scorer. They're doing a good job of keeping her out of the lane, mainly doing her work around the perimeter so far earlier this afternoon. JMU now with the ball.
It'll be Muff Mickens. Burkholder, there's a three-point try by Kirby, and that's her first of the day.
One for 3 now on the day. She keeps putting it up. It's got to go down at some point, at least in theory.
Band chants, "You Got Kirby'd," which is becoming a popular chant here at the Convocation Center in Harrisonburg. Do they get Kirby'd again? Not this time. Off the iron, Kirby tries to track it down. She and Nikki Newman, the TA Knights, tie up the basketball. Possession error will stay in favor of Alcorn State. Braves will maintain possession of the ball with 28 seconds on the shot clock. Other set will trigger it in. Grand Prairie, Texas. Mansfield, Timberview for set. Newman may have got a piece of that. She at least comes up with a rebound. Burkholder off to Muff Mickens.
Ball took an angle off the release. You're right, Carter. It did look like Nikki Newman got her hand on that, affected the shot significantly.
Strong move by Jones, but an errant pass. She was trying to get it down low to Delicia Griffin.
Griffin, the freshman out of Western Branch High School in Chesapeake, Virginia. Not too far from Toya Jiggets High School, Lake Taylor.
They may be in the same district now. At one time it was, they were the Southeastern District, but I know some of those teams in Chesapeake joined in with the Eastern. Actually, some in Portsmouth joined in with the Eastern, maybe. Don't hold me to that last statement. They've mixed them up a little bit since I left there 40 years ago, it seems like now.
No, don't worry. There's a plethora of high schools, both in the Chesapeake area, Virginia, and the Northern Virginia aspect as well.
No doubt. Big population basis for both. Ball last touched by the Dukes.
From our angle, looked like Courtney Cooper might have gotten a hand. We'll take a look here. It's Kirby Burkholder fighting for the ball. No, it looked like it did go off of Delicia Griffin's hand.
Well, I'll tell you what, Delicia was the Southeastern District most valuable player, so I guess they're still in the Southeastern District.
There you go. That's what game notes are for.
Exactly, and deductive reasoning.
What a move by Precious Hall.
And she scores the basket. Nope, are they going to say it's on the floor? No basket. This is the NCAA, not the NBA.
She was pleading her case trying to get the foul call, but it's team foul number 7 for Alcorn State, so she
should get
to the line. There we go. Now they're on the foul line.
Okafor back in for the Dukes out of Hamden, Connecticut, Hopkins School, redshirt junior. P. Hall at the line. Ball tapped out, but into the hands of a waiting Cunningham. She'll streak it down the court, and the bounce pass, little too tall for the tall Wells to handle.
JMU now 2 of 9 from the line today here in the first half. Or 2 of 10 rather now with that miss from Precious Hall.
Must be something on this floor as the men's basketball team missed 19 against Detroit the other day on 45 tries. Turnaround shot by Okafor, rebound for Frost. In fact, that was 19 misses for the men's team, the most since 1997. Now, I'm not sure if the where the 45 tries stands. Obviously, got to have a lot of chances to miss a lot of chances.
Been seeing that a lot in college basketball to start this season, the new hand-checking rules that have gone into play. A lot of teams having troubles at the foul line early on.
Are you talking about North Carolina?
I am not referencing any school in particular at all. I'm staying neutral.
All right, well, that was the one that stood out with the loss to Belmont, how poorly the Tar Heels shot at the free throw line.
It was J.P. Takoto who had just an awful night at the line in that game.
Precious Hall, three-pointer. Count that one. That's her second tray. She has a half dozen points. The Dukes up 23-7. At the last timeout, the Dukes are up 17-7. So they have held the Braves scoreless since the last media timeout for the very least. Little mix-up up top. Launching the two-point try was Littlejohn. Tracked down in the corner. Wells getting some help from Littlejohn. Ball taken away. Kirby Burkholder with it. Burkholder to Hall. Hall goes all the way, and we're going to get a blocking foul this time. And did they count the bucket?
Yes, they did.
Tiero Frost with her second personal foul, team foul number 8. Coach Brooks liberally substituting here today with his rotation. Mickens is back in. Jiggets returns to the hardwood for the Dukes, and Hall returns to the free throw line. That's the one area that JMU's having its struggles today. And Hall hits the free throw to make the conventional three-point play, and the Dukes now 26-7.
Every time I've talked about free throws, Kurt, JMU's been on the missing end of the stick. Every time you've mentioned it, just swish them on through, so we'll stick with that pattern.
Okay. Trends. So we get a foul, actually away from the basketball. On the Braves, it's Henrietta Wells, her first, team foul number 9. It was an offensive foul, so no free throws.
Toya Jiggets early on, moving down now in the post. Jasmine Guathme coming up, doing a great job getting boards for her team and putting them back up.
Hall, Jiggets from the baseline, a little strong there. Guathme in a battle for the ball on the floor. This one will be tied up. This time, possession arrow. I thought the arrow went. Did I miss an arrow exchange? I must have, as it goes back to Alcorn.
The last tie-up, JMU had
Okay.
taken it down the court.
Couple of scores at halftime this afternoon, or excuse me, in the first half. Delaware trailing Ryder 15-14, under 8 minutes to go in that first half. Block by Okafor. Ball loose on the floor. And timeout called as Tierra Frost scoops it up and calls the timeout. That'll be a 30-second timeout.
She is limping heading over to the sideline. Tierra Frost and her left foot. A little bit of a hobble step there. Good block, though, by Lauren Okafor. Saw it all the way. Just had the ball knocked out.
Again, Delaware the only team other than JMU from the Colonial in action today. Another regional game. North Carolina leading Coppin State 22-8. North Carolina, of course, a future opponent of JMU, as is Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt playing Dayton today, that in Nashville, Tennessee. Vandy will be here on December the 18th. And we'll have that game for you on Madison HD Sportsnet as well.
Ball movement early on has been key for both teams here. JMU doing a good job. As I mentioned earlier, driving into the lane, kicking out to the wing. Good post play for the Dukes as well, getting a couple of offensive boards and 4 tries. For Alcorn State, they're trying to run the baseline off of pick and rolls. Not quite getting it done yet.
When we get into halftime, we invite you to send us an email. That email address, you see Matazone there on the screen, on the left-hand corner there. Just send it to matazone@jmu.edu. It's MADIZONE@jmu.edu. If you do so, we'll give you a shout out there during halftime. So you got 8 minutes and 3 seconds before intermission. Or, of course, you can also tweet at JMU Sports.
You got a media timeout coming up pretty soon, so that's a good time to do so as well.
Yep, next stoppage of play, we'll take a break. Cooper. Wells looks for the backdoor pass. A little too tall. Othme gathers the loose basketball and steps for Precious Hall as she saw Frost in the corner of her eye. Couldn't quite put on the brakes quickly enough.
That's just the natural thing to do. You see something out of your peripheral vision, hesitate for a bit. Precious Hall knows it. Back on defense are the Dukes.
Tierra Frost with the bounce pass to Wilson Reed. She comes right in front of us with a pass to Cooper. Ball knocked away by Hall, but gathered. Frost with it. High three-point try. Rebound, Precious Hall. Hall this time gets around the defender. Muff Mickens back to Hall. Two-man game. Count it for 3. Mickens celebrating at half court.
They were running a little 1-2 break there. Precious Hall brought the ball up, kicked it out to Mickens, who likewise dished it back to her teammate. A little two-person game there.
Yeah, Precious Hall with 12 points. She's coming off a 21-point effort that led the Dukes against Richmond on Thursday, which was just 2 shy of tying her career high of 23. The Dukes 29-7 on a masterful run right now. Mastering this game. Arcing shots, well defended by Wathme. The outlet Mickens. Okafor running the floor nicely. Gathers the loose ball and puts it up for 2.
Great hustle by Lauren Okafor, streaking down the court. Mickens doing a great job distributing the ball here for the Dukes.
Dukes' largest lead at 24. On a big run right now. And there's a foul by Okafor way up above the three-point arc, and this will be 3 free throws for Tiara Frost.
Okafor standing 6'3", got her arms up in the air as you take a look here, right on the follow-through, right into the left hand of Tiara Frost, stepping to the line for 3.
Frost has 3, but that was on a three-point play, or a three-pointer that is, and she hits the first of her 3 tries. Duke's going to send in 3 newcomers to the court here.
62% foul shooter coming into the ball game.
Left-handed shooter, so 2 for 2 at the moment. So let's see, coming in for JMU, you'll have Newman and Burkholder. And here's Imani Tatum, 5'7" freshman. Cambria, New York, Archbishop Malloy. And it's good. 3 for 3 at the foul line for Frost. So she is not frosty at all at the free throw line. 31-10. It's more like a football score at the moment. Burkholder up and rolls it in a little too hard off the back of the iron, but Toya Jiggets zigs and zags her way through and drops it back to 33-10.
Talked about the post play earlier of Toya Jiggets getting those offensive rebounds.
Knocked away by Tatum, but picked up and backed in. Frost with her first 2, 33 a dozen. Burkholder, Tatum back to Burkholder, deep 3 on the right wing. Comes up a bit shy. Here's Frost. Pulls up. Nikki May got the back of that ball. A rebound, Burkholder. Mickens. Burkholder finds her way to the seam, drops it in for Jiggets, and she's blocked from behind by Sepp. Dukes, though, get it back. And Burkholder takes the nice pass and lays it in. Nicely done by Tatum, sharing the basketball.
Kirby Burkholder's happy to have that one. That was a good dish by Tatum, who had made a great move cutting to her right. Found Kirby Burkholder open in the middle of the lane. Easy layup for 2.
3-point try by Sepp. It's off the board. Rebound for Jiggets. Toya still wearing that protective mask that she became accustomed to as a freshman when she broke her nose early in her career in a traveling violation.
You see that sometimes with players who do start wearing the mask. They take a liking to it. I don't know how that would feel, wearing a mask on your face playing basketball.
You know, she wore it as a freshman, didn't need it as a sophomore, but felt uncomfortable not with it, and so she decided to don it again. So now it's just more for comfort than it is for necessity.
I've seen that a couple times in higher levels of basketball with Rip Hamilton. After he started wearing the mask, that's now how he's associated. He has the mask on.
And they pass up to Jiggets, runs the floor well. Burkholder should get credited for that assist. Jiggets has 8 all off the bench here today.
She can score and she can distribute as well. Kirby Burkholder tossed that ball without Toya Jiggets having turned her head around.
And thrown out of bounds. Timeout on the floor. And immediate timeout. 3:50 to go in the first half. JMU 37. Alcorn State with a dozen. Back with more after this timeout. You're watching JMU Women's Basketball today on Matazone HD Sportsnet. It's presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association.
I knew going to JMU would be more about just getting a master's.
I just knew that it was the place for me.
I feel as though that I'm a part of the institution.
You will never meet a stranger. Everyone is always willing to help you out and to help you through your graduate experience here at James Madison University.
The graduate school here is a great choice.
The education that you receive is top-notch.
It's one of the best in the country. And from here, everything is possible.
Jim and John are both covered by the nation's best networks. Jim uses Entelos Wireless. John does not. Jim saves money every month. John does not. And thanks to those savings, Jim has money left over for hula hoops, a little mood music, and access to the rooftop pool. John does not. And Telos Wireless. The difference is savings. Switch now and get unlimited data, text, and talk for just $79.
JMU Dukes fans, you can connect with the JMU Alumni Association on social media for news and updates on events, programs, and awards. Follow the association on Twitter, which is at JMU Alumni. Become a fan on Facebook at JMU Alumni, and join the LinkedIn community with the keyword JMU Alumni Association. You can also keep up with the Dukes when you're mobile. Download the mobile app for your Android, iPad, or your iPhone. You can watch these productions with your iPad. Simply pay the one-time fee, $4.95 for the app, and you can watch everything free on Matazone HD Sportsnet. Again, brought to you free, courtesy of the JMU Alumni Association and our participating sponsors. Turn and toss by Ross will not fall. She draws some contact with 3:34 to go. She'll go to the line as that foul was whistled against Angelica Wilson-Reed. That is her second. Team foul number 10. Dukes are in the double bonus. This will be 2 anyway, as Ross fouled in the act of shooting. She shoots the free throw. Swish. She goes.
Now 2 of 3 on the year came into tonight, having just attempted 2 free throws, 1 of 2. We'll see what she does on the second one here.
She had 13 points, a career high, and a very good win for the Dukes last November against Green Bay in a game on a neutral court. And she's 2 for 2. She's got 4. 11 rebounds, her career high as well, Murray State. And a charge called against Jasmine Cunningham. That's number 2 for her in the foul category.
Cunningham taking the ball all the way down the floor. Good position for Nikki Newman. Had that call gone the other way, that would have been a 3rd foul here in the first half.
Here's Newman. Turns the corner, lays up left hand, rolls around the rim, and tumbles home for Nikki Newman. Nikki's first 2 of the day. Shooting at 40% this season. That's just her 5th bucket of the year. She does have a couple of 3-pointers. In fact, 3 out of her 5 now are trays. Tied up basketball, Newman in a scrum, and it'll be the Dukes' ball on the possession arrow. Here comes Cooper back in.
JMU doing a great job of double teaming Cunningham right there with the ball, and she coughed it up, and good hands. JMU gets the possession. Nikki Newman showing why she's known for her defense. Before last year, before she got hurt, she was preseason All-CAA second team, had led the team in rebounding. They really missed her last year when they had that WNIT run. You never know, maybe they could have gone a little bit farther, even the NCAA tournament, if she had been playing the whole year.
Pass, blind pass, it goes to Ross, spins one way, turns the other, drops it in. Nice move by Crystal Ross, who's got a half dozen. It's 43-12. Long range tray, out of bounds.
Alcorn State, maybe she'll let that one go. It looked like it went off the fingertips of Courtney Ross there. Crystal Ross, excuse me, but either way, the Dukes dominating all aspects of this game here in the first half.
Here's a drive by Gwathmey. Jasmine, her high school coach, is in attendance here today, I saw on Twitter. She oftentimes watches, does Lauren Milburn. When she's not here. Yep, John.
It's one of the things that she had been doing pregame was cutting from the wing down to the free throw line and pulling up for a jump shot. So it's the first time I'd seen her do that today after she had worked on it in warm-ups. Alcorn State now in the bonus, 1-1.
That last foul on Crystal Ross, that's her second. Ross with her 6 points here tonight, by the way, already a season high. She had 5 at Richmond, and again off the bench. The ball is going to tumble through for number 32, Angelica Wilson-Reed, who picks up her first point of the afternoon. Another left-handed shooter.
A couple of those with good backspin on the rotation as well. Tiara Frost and Angelica Wilson-Reed.
Just spotted former JMU assistant men's basketball coach Bart Belair's in the house today. There's a three-pointer for Precious Hall, who's got 15.
She's 4 for 4 from behind the arc. Precious Hall, the sophomore guard for JMU, showing why Coach Brooks has high hopes for her here in her second season.
It's potential for a career high as she has 15 before the halftime. Needs just 8 more to tie. Nicely done for Wilson-Reed to draw the contact. That's her first field goal. And Crystal Ross picks up her third personal. Precious Hall will check out. Back in comes Griffin from the Bruins of Western Branch. An offensive rebound and just dropped right out of bounds. Kara Frost very disappointed, not able to hang on to that basketball.
She did a good job getting position and getting the rebound, went to the floor. Only had JMU jerseys around her, had to throw it away.
Get a hand check by Cooper on Tatum, who tried to turn the corner.
For Monty Tatum, kind of in the same role as Precious Hall last year, freshman guard. You had Precious Hall, who was able to learn from Tariq Hislop, who graduated last year, so it'll be interesting to see the development of Amani Tatum throughout the year.
Tatum drops it in. She is on the board. And Jiggett's back in for James Madison. And for Tatum, that is her first James Madison University point. There's her second. So with every point she makes today.
And she stole the ball and got the 2 on the layup.
Like that, she sets a career high. She's got 4 now.
Never take your eye off the ball, right, Kurt?
That's right, and I did. Quite honestly, I was writing a note down, and she took the ball away and put it right back.
What had happened on the baseline play, she had jumped off the free throw line. Alcorn State player looked away, and she just stole the ball. As the replay right here, just took it right away. Easy layup.
There's the inbounds with 68 seconds to go. Spin move. Griffin defending. I think the Dukes last touched it. Yes, that's correct. It'll stay at this end with the shot clock down to 12.
Just under a minute left in the first half. JMU already at the 50-point mark.
Shot well off the mark. Down the court it goes, Gwathmey. Jones pulls up. Gets her own rebound. She'll probably try to go up again, and she does. Strong move by Destiny Jones. She has 4, 52-16. Tiara Frost, top of the circle, way up high it is. Cooper with a touch, back to Frost. There's a three-point try. That's blocked by Jiggett's. Rebound. Jones off to Tatum. Duke's a lot of new faces out on the floor right now. Jones, 2-point play on just inside the arc. Jones shows she's got some versatility.
Scored the last 4 points of the half for JMU, and for both teams collectively. JMU headed to the break up 54-16.
Well, the Dukes using an early run to take the 13-2 lead. It was 15-7 at one juncture, 17-7, and then the Dukes just poured it on. And they have a comfortable lead going into the locker room, 54-16 at the break. A reminder, you can send us an email here on Matazone at matazone.jmu.edu. Matazone@jmu.edu. There it is once again. Or you can send us a message through Twitter. Just put in there @JMU Sports. We'll check our email and see if we can get out a few shout outs to folks watching here today. Like to know who you're rooting for, where you're watching from, and if you're even a fan of Alcorn State, we invite you to send us an email as well today. Always try to be hospitable to our guests, no matter where around the globe or who you might be rooting for. So 54-16 is our score here at halftime. John and I are going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back in just a little while as the Dukes with the lead at 54-16 over the Braves.
The Residence Inn by Marriott provides guests with plenty of room. Room to recharge. Room to prepare. Room to relax. Stay one night or as long as you like. The Residence Inn by Marriott provides each guest with amenities tailored to their individual needs. Spacious suites with all the comforts of home, because it's not just a room, it's a residence.
Jordan is still in. Nice job. We got Kristen. Oh, I'm sorry, Kristen. Unfortunately, this time, you were the last one. Well, let's give it up. Fighting it to the very end. How many was on you, girlfriend? All right, music's up. Our final five are in. What do you think? You know? Her? Purple and white? The one in the blue? There it is. All by herself. And those three all made it in. And it looks like Kaylee, unfortunately, you were the last one to make it in. Let's give it up for Kaylee. Nice job. She's gonna tie her shoe. Safety first here at JMU. That's exactly right. While we're doing that, let's remind everybody. Tell us what your name is in the Final Four. This is Brianna. Let's give it up for Brianna. Very nice. Katie and Maddie. And now our shoestring. Tell everybody what's your name. Jordan. All right, ladies, are you ready? Final Four. Final mark. Get set and go. Go for it. You can see the concentration. She's all by herself now. Right here, she's a smart one. Empty basket. She makes it. She's good to go. Safe. All right, I'm sorry, sweetie. You were the last one. Nice job. You can give your ball to Margaret over there. Let's give it up. Nice job. We are down to our final three. Who's going to be our musical basketball winner? The concentration, determination, each grab ball. As soon as you make it, bring it back down. The last person to bring their ball to the circle is going to be out and place it down. And it looks like you. Good job, Katie. Nice job. Give it up for her. She did great. All right, our final two. So, whoever brings the ball back to the circle and places it safely down last will unfortunately be eliminated. Are you girls ready? Duke Dog, who are you going for? Both of them? I have two. Yes, maybe I place it back. You ready? This is what it all comes down to. Make that layup, bring it back, and you go home the winner. Gotta bring it all the way back to the circle. She makes her shot, they both do. Who's it gonna be? I mean, that was a dead time. I think that they should both win. What do you guys think? Absolutely. You guys killed it. Both go home with the prize. Nice job. Appreciate it. Good job. You guys come with me. We're going to both go for the prize. Grab your rolls.
Your halftime statistics are brought to you by PB Makers, certified public accountants and business advisors. For Alcorn State, Weapons with 2, Cooper with 2, Kiara Frost with 2, Tierra Frost with 6, Wilson Reed with 4 for JMU, Jones with 6, Higgins with 8, Paul with 15, Tickler with 4, Burkholder with 6, Ross with 6, Watney with 3, Newman with 2, Okafor with 4. JMU Athletics would like to thank Aramark for being today's game sponsor. Aramark is a proud supporter of JMU Athletics. Don't forget Telos Wireless, the official wireless partner of JMU Athletics. For nationwide coverage, JMU Nation relies on Telos Wireless. The difference is savings. Aramark is a proud supporter of JMU Athletics. Be sure to stop by the concession stand for a hot dog, soft pretzels, popcorn, nachos, or ice cold Coca-Cola. Our concession stands are located on the forecourse behind section 220 and will remain open until the beginning of this afternoon's second half. Fans looking for some great homemade eats after the game, check out Neil's Grill on University Boulevard for great food and good times in the heart of the Shenandoah Valley. Union First Market Bank is a proud sponsor of JMU Dukes. Come visit any of their 90 branches across the Commonwealth to see why so many people are switching to Union. And also, don't forget to become a part of the Crown Club today, the official fan club for JMU women's basketball. The today's game, and everyone is invited. The event will be held in the Duke's Club Room, located on the concourse behind doors B&B. Students get off the bench and get in the game by joining the team behind the teams, the JMU Duke Club, presented by Sunchase Apartments. RMA Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is a cornerstone partner of James Madison Athletics. Don't be sidelined by an injury. Get on the game. You love with RMA Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Fans plan to be back at Convocation Center on Wednesday, December 18th. The JMU women's basketball team will return home to host the Vanderbilt Commodores at 7 p.m. Bring a toy to donate to Toys for Tots and receive a free general admission ticket to the game.
Well, welcome back to the JMU Convocation Center. The Dukes with a comfortable 54-16 lead at intermission. And Mr. Simpson, take a look at our big numbers in this first half.
How about Precious Hall leading the team with 15 points? She has hit all 4 for 3-point field goals, 4 for 4 on the afternoon. And then on the other side of things, Alcorn State, Tierra Wells is the leading scorer with 15 points per game. She shot 1 of 11 from the field in the first half. JMU with the 54-16 advantage at the break. As a team, Alcorn State shooting very well from the free throw line, 7 of 8. JMU 7 of 15 from the line. The big discrepancy in the stats, though, however, occurred. JMU shooting 21 of 35 from the field. Alcorn State 4 of 26. So that's the main issue right now. Both teams went into the locker room. JMU smiles on their faces. Alcorn State trying to figure out what they need to do to get some more points on the board. So we'll see what the second half has in store for us as both teams are back out on the floor doing layups at the moment. What kind of emails did we get, Kurt?
Well, just one, Brandon Bourne from Colorado, class of 2008. Watching the game from Denver, says, "Go Dukes." You still have a chance to send us an email here this afternoon. Do so to matazone@jmu.edu. That's matazone@jmu.edu. As we rack up some of the highlights of the first 20 minutes of today's ball game, a lot of them for the JMU Dukes in this first half of play. And coming up next weekend, the Dukes will be on the road. You can hear all the broadcast on the JMU and Telos Wireless Sports Radio Network, locally in Harrisonburg on ESPN 1360 WHBG, and on the web on Matazone HD Sportsnet free audio. Dukes will be facing the UCLA Bruins on Friday. Not sure what time that game's going to start yet. Need to check with the folks across the court to see if they know what time that game is. And 2 other games in that tournament. It's on the 30th and the 1st as well. Then the Dukes travel to Pittsburgh. We'll face Prairie View A&M and St. John's. That'll be at the St. John's tournament in New York. Then Vanderbilt here at home. That'll begin a stretch of 3 consecutive home games for the Dukes. Dukes will face Vanderbilt, Ohio on the 29th. That's a 2:30 start, and then we'll face the winner between Norfolk State, well, assuming the Dukes beat Ohio. Shouldn't get too far with my assumptions there, but they will play either Norfolk State or Maryland-Baltimore County on the 30th. And the 30th is actually a triple header here that day, because you will have 2 women's games, the Dukes and either Norfolk State and UMBC, and Ohio in either Norfolk State or in UMBC, and then the JMU men's basketball team with a home game that evening against the Cardinals of Ball State. A couple of other scores to pass along here at halftime. North Carolina leading Coppin State 37-17. That with 3:19 to play in the first. And at halftime, Delaware up by 5 against Rider, 31-26.
We also talked about the rebounding department and how JMU would fare, out rebounding opponents by about 15 per game so far this year. They're up, have a +10 margin in that category right now, 26 at the half as a team, 16 for Alcorn State. tempo will be key as well here. JMU has the big lead. Cannot become complacent, needs to keep attacking on the offensive end. If they keep playing the great defense that they have been showing today, they should be in store for a good second half as well. JMU with possession to open the second half. Nikki Newman will throw it in. We're ready for more basketball here at the Convocation Center.
I did see a tweet during halftime from Kerry Clement saying, call Chick-fil-A, make sure the nuggets are ready.
That sounds really good right now, but we've got basketball to worry about first.
Yeah, well, if you reach 79, then everybody in the house gets a free order of chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A.
And who doesn't want that?
That's right. Precious Hall steps back for a three-pointer. That's her first three-point miss, I do believe, of the afternoon. Nikki Newman will try one. She will drop it in. Newman has 5. That's a little above her current average of 4.3 points per game. 57-16 JMU.
Precious Hall misses. Nikki Newman says, don't worry, I got your back, and puts one in for herself.
Caro Frost now over the top looking for Sepp, and it passed a little too long, out of bounds. Dukes will have it on the turnover.
How about 5 Dukes already have 6 points or more? Ball distribution and point distribution as well for JMU.
And 9 Dukes got in on the scoring in the first half.
14 assists for JMU compared to just 2 for Alcorn State.
Now Dukes with 54 points, 57 points, and plenty of opportunities to get those assists. Here's an opportunity there if Burkholder will hit, and she does, and give Precious Hall an assist there. Burkholder with 9. One of the trends for Kirby this season is slow starting. Her second half seemed to be much better than her first.
Well, if the pure shot right there is any indicator, you're right, Kurt.
Cooper out on the right wing. Newman with the long arms, protecting that zone defensively. I remember when Nikki was a senior in high school and she would sit just to the right of where the pep band is situated. There's a 2-pointer just inside the line. And that one was nailed by Tiero Frost, who has 8 now, but Newman would sit right up there in that corner. She and her mother, Robin, and watch the games. Of course, she's been watching JMU basketball for a long time and football for a long time as well. Burkholder. Newman, that's that same spot. And she'll miss it this time. Tipped up by Burkholder into the hands of Guafney. Here's Newman. Little short jumper by Nikki, rattles in. Nikki has 7. Her career high is 15 points, came against George Mason. And that was on February the 29th, 2012.
Alcorn State looking to get the ball into the post here to start the second half. So moving it around here.
Ball stolen away by Precious Hall. This will be an easy 2 for Precious if she finishes it, and she does. That's 17, and she's approaching her career high. And timeout on the floor called by the Braves of Alcorn State. We're going to take a timeout as well. 64-18, 17-18 to play here on Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association.
Instead of asking yourself, where did those 4 years go? Think about where the next 40 will take you. Be involved at Madison. Dukes from day one, alumni for life.
Well, the highest scoring output for JMU last year was 89 points. And that was in a neutral site game in Cancun, Mexico against Wisconsin Green Bay. 89-86. They did score 88 here at home on December the 28th in an 88-34 win over Maine. But looking back, it has been some time since the Dukes have hit into the 90s. Still a long ways to go, but at this pace, we're just looking at the pace of the game, of course.
Looking at pace as well. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, Kurt, but the last time JMU scored over 100 was against the University of Maryland, Baltimore County back in 08. So,
And when was that?
December 18th, 2008.
2008, okay.
So I had just turned 17. Is that dating myself?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, though. That's good. We're good with that.
Alcorn State attacking out of the timeout.
And Okafor with a very strong rebound. Newman, the point forward right now, bringing it up the court for James Madison. Hall spins it out. Guathme pulls up. That'll rim the cup. Cunningham with the board. Around the perimeter for the Braves.
Jasmine Cunningham coming off of screens, moving around without the ball.
Frost up high and shot clock down to 6. Trying to get around Newman. Newman called for the foul.
That's her third foul on the afternoon, early on in the second half.
Tierra Frost at the free throw line with a chance to shoot a couple. She has 9, and the trend continues. She is their leading scorer for the season. She is their leading scorer for this Sunday afternoon.
She is 4 of 4 from the foul line. Alcorn State increasing that free throw percentage.
And she's in double figures with 10. She's only the second player in this ball game. As many points are up on the board, Dukes have just one player in double digits. Foul on Frost, Kiro this time.
Especially early on in the season, Kurt, especially in non-conference games, you want to be able to work the ball around, get players, get their confidence going, get the point allotment all over the map. So when you do have those big conference games, you have those players that do have the ability then. They know they can do it and put the ball on the floor and get to the basket and put points up.
Toss down Guathme looking for the open space. Okafor misconnecting. And timeout on the floor. 15:52 to go. Duke 64, Braves 20. Back with more after this timeout on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association.
Jim and John are both covered by the nation's best networks. Jim uses Entelos Wireless. John does not. Jim saves money every month. John does not. And thanks to those savings, Jim has money left over for hula hoops, a little mood music, and access to the rooftop pool. John does not. Entelos Wireless. The difference is savings. Switch now and get unlimited data, text, and talk for just $79.
JMU fans can become invested in Madison's future by making a gift to the university. There are more than 2,200 funds at JMU covering scholarships, program support, academic departments, and facility enhancements. Learn how you can make an investment in JMU's future at jmu.edu/give. Duke 64, Alcorn State 20 this afternoon. With 15:56 to go. Yes, sir.
Points in the paint, JMU with 34 compared to just 4 for Alcorn State. Saw Alcorn State early in the second half, as I mentioned, trying to work the ball into the paint, just trying to get something going. They have a rough go of it here this afternoon. Points off of turnovers as well. JMU with 23. Saw a couple steals for Precious Hall. Duke's doing a good job of getting their hands in. They're poking the ball loose and getting out in transition and putting the ball home.
Back to action we go with the Braves in the basketball. Toya Jiggets and Muff Mickens have checked into the scorer's table. During the next stoppage of play, they'll report to the hardwood. Cunningham. Bounce pass down low, kicking it back out. With the ball ripped, Kira Frost. Shot clock at 5. Harassment by Burkholder. And a wild shot as the shot clock expires, and that'll give a chance for Mickens and Jiggets to report in for the Dukes. Well, if you're watching our first, or actually our second women's game on Madison this season, third overall basketball game, we had the men here against Detroit on Tuesday. You see the new floor here at the Convo that many JMU fans had an input on. This double Duke Dog head design, the James Madison script on the floor. We used to have the big Duke Dog logo in the middle of the floor, now with the JMU.
Tierra Frost hoping to get somebody open. Now she has the ball back at the point.
Tierra trying to make a move. Hand by Mickens, swatted away, and another shot clock violation.
Back-to-back possessions where that has occurred.
Duke's working on some strong D here. 64-20. Backdoor cut for Burkholder. The pass from Guathmy. That was just like practice. Burkholder's in double figures. 11 points for her. She has been in double-digit scoring each time this season. I think that runs her streak to 8 games in a row now, dating back to last season, that she's been in double figures.
She's also had a double-double in 7 straight games coming in.
That was a mistake. Only double-digit points.
The points.
Yep.
Well, the average in rebounds, 13 a game, speaks for what she's been doing on the boards regardless.
Yeah, I was at the press room. There's another shot clock violation. 3 in a row. That's got to be a record.
Put that one in the record book so you can reference that at some other point maybe. Yes.
Wow. Anyway, I was up at the press room, and Devin Howard stopped me. She said, Kurt, there's a mistake in the notes. She has scored double digits in 7 consecutive games. Double figures in both points and rebounds in the last 4 games. So,
all right.
Yeah, so. And I think she finished with 8 or 9 rebounds in one of the late games last year, so that did break her double streak.
The band section full of students letting Alcorn State hear it with their own form of the shot clock countdown.
And that one will actually tumble in for Wilson Reed. She has a half dozen points, and that'll stop the stretch of 3 consecutive shot clock violations. Jiggets, Guathmy drives, will scoop it up. Nicely done by Guathmy, switching the ball to the other hand. Guathmy with the bucket. Jasmine has 5.
Jasmine Guathmy not necessarily looking for a shot too much this afternoon, but she has cut towards the foul line. 3-pointer for Tierra Frost, but to finish that thought, penetration by Jasmine Guathmy has been opening up all kinds of opportunities for her teammates.
Precious Hall is fouled by Jasmine Cunningham, who was going for the takedown.
Wrong sport if you're going for the takedown.
She shot in to try to get her by the ankles and take her down, but that results in a foul in this sport.
You had Angela Mickens going for the isolation on that play, on that previous play with the foul call.
Guathmy kicks it out, 3-pointer. Precious Hall rattles in. She had plenty of time to set up for that and fire in. Here comes Nikki Newman back in for the Dukes. Guathmy will go to the bench.
After going 4 for 4 in the first half from 3, Precious Hall misses on her first 2 looks here in the second half. But with her team up by the margin that they are, not necessarily too upset about that, but then again, that's just my speculation. However, the Dukes have to be enjoying the lead that they have.
Well, the scoring has slowed down a little bit for the Dukes, 68-25. We may have jinxed that scoring with our chat of high-scoring games.
Moving screen called there
And that foul was called. Who did they call that foul on?
Number 23. Anastasia Tussett.
Oh, okay. Yep, I forgot. She had changed her jersey number further down on my chart. That'll be her first. Team foul number 3. Timeout on the floor. 11:58 remaining. The Dukes 68. The Braves 25. Back with more after this timeout. You're watching JMU Women's Basketball this afternoon on Matazone HD Sports.
The Residence Inn by Marriott provides guests with plenty of room. Room to recharge. Room to prepare. Room to relax. Stay one night or as long as you like. The Residence Inn by Marriott provides each guest with amenities tailored to their individual needs. Spacious suites with all the comforts of home, because it's not just a room, it's a residence.
Sierra found Duke Dog. He's a little easier to find than Waldo on most occasions. (68-25) our score.
Tell you what, that's one contest I would never want to be a part of because.
Why not?
Well, you had at the men's game, you had the someone who went to shoot free throws, and it's boo or yay for if you're aiming the right way, and even if you're aiming the right way, you still push it one way or the other, and it's just. I would just turn all red in the face, and it's just that's just never fun for anybody. Oh, that was a good one though with the Waldo reference. I like that.
Okay, here comes Nikki Newman. A little too strong on the power move. Ross will toss it back up. Rebound comes out, wrestled away. It's Wilson Reed with the board. Top of the circle. Touche. Little John tries to make a move at the elbow. Cut off there. Shot clock at 8. And lost out of bounds. That is the 4th shot clock violation here down in the last several minutes.
All within the last about 6 or 7 possessions for Alcorn State. Precious Hall running the tempo, though, here for the Dukes this afternoon, doing a great job, her and Angela Mickens.
Turning shot by Ross is good. She adds to her season high. She's got 8. She's 5 away from her career high. Set against Wisconsin, Green Bay, the Phoenix, when the Dukes were south of the border last Thanksgiving. Shot up. Here is Mickens. Muff running the fast break, 2-on-2. Sees Ross and lays it in. Great vision for Mickens, who influenced the play more to the left but finished at the right.
That's called deception right there for Angela Mickens. Doing snake eyes, got the defender looking one way, and with her left hand threw the ball to the other side. Easy play for Crystal Ross to get the 2.
Here's a driving shot. A very rare offensive rebound. They did miss the rim, so shot clock close to being expired, and another charge against the visitors. I believe that's what he called.
Well, Nikki Newman came in for the block. Let's take a look at the replay here. Looked like she got a piece of it.
Yeah, although they're not sorting it out quite yet. I thought the one official called a charge.
Very close there. Toya Jiggets had jumped in front, but did she get there in time? Now they will call it a charge.
All right, they had to sort it out as well.
On Anastasia Tussett, it looks like. That's what the official was signifying.
Actually, they changed that. They went to Tierra Frost. She picks up her 3rd. We got it.
One way or another, yes, we do.
Coach Edwards wanting to make sure. I don't know that she agrees with the call. I wonder, do we have that replay again, fellas? Jake, can we put that up again while they have the conversation? Let's see if we can sort it out here.
You have Nikki Newman trailing the ball handler.
And who is the ball handler?
It's Tiara Frost. There's the block. And then
okay.
There's the charge call.
So it was Frost if they're going to call the charge, which I think they're going to stick with that.
Congregating over by Alcorn State.
It's going to be hard to change this call, I think.
It gives both teams a little time here to maybe get a play together. An impromptu timeout of sorts.
The pep band always
having a good time.
They have their way of getting their point across.
No, earlier when JMU reached 70, they started chanting 9 more points. They want nuggets from Chick-fil-A. I'm sure everybody else wouldn't mind that either.
Looks like they're going to hold what they called, as Coach Edwards now being chatted to by one of the officials.
Got some more score updates coming our way. Kurt, what are we looking at?
We are looking at, let's see here. Ryder now leading Delaware, 41-36. 12:26 to go there. North Carolina way out in front of the Eagles of Coppin State. And score the bucket for the Dukes. Toya Jiggets is in double digits. She has 10.
She's going to the foul line for the first time tonight as well. Let's take a look and see what her percentage is thus far on the season. For Toya, 9 of 10 from the line, shooting 90%. Her and Kirby Burkhold are both over that plateau.
And Jiggets completes the three-point play. She has 11. Her career high, 19 against Drexel last March. And her 11 points, a season high. She had 10 against Richmond, stepping back for 3. Tiara Frost, and she has just surpassed her season average of 15.8. She's got 16.
Such a quick release for Tiara Frost. You can put a hand in her face, but that ball, more often than not, is going over, and a lot of the times we've seen tonight, it's gone in the basket.
Inside to Ross. This time she'll approach it from the left side. Can't get it. Fights it back. Gets it to tumble in. Well, if the Dukes can get this kind of play out of Crystal Ross, that will be a bonus. And the Dukes just a field goal away from serving up Chick-fil-A nuggets to everybody that takes a ticket to Chick-fil-A tomorrow. Can't go today because they're closed on Sundays.
Very true.
Here's a little trivia for you, John. What restaurant was at the site of the Chick-fil-A prior to the Chick-fil-A being built there?
What year?
No, what restaurant?
No. What year was Chick-fil-A built?
When was it built? I don't know.
Was it within my time here at school?
No, it was not.
Oh, well then.
Makes it a tough one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's a bucket scored by Cooper. For those of you who are older alums will say, Pargo's was there. It was torn down, and a Chick-fil-A is built there now. And the Dukes working on their first Chick-fil-A possession of the day. Down low it goes to Ross. Back out. Mickens, the two-man game. Ross, shot clock at 11. Down low, cutting through, and there it is, Chick-fil-A. 2 for Destiny Jones. Served up by Crystal Ross. Take your ticket stub tomorrow to Chick-fil-A in Harrisonburg and get a free serving of nuggets.
Give Destiny Jones a couple of them. She's the one who got them to the mark.
You know, a lot of teams that come in here don't know about that. And when you even have a game of this nature, they're kind of like, what's everybody cheering about?
Foul on the play.
You used to get a scoop of ice cream when you hit 79 from Klein's.
I'll go to Chick-fil-A and take a milkshake. Does that
There
count?
you go. Well, that might be, you might be able to coax them into that.
Media timeout on the floor, though.
Yep, 79-30. Dukes with the lead. Back with more after this timeout on the Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association.
I knew going to JMU would be more about just getting a master's.
I just knew that it was the place for me.
I feel as though that I'm a part of the institution.
You will never meet a stranger. Everyone is always willing to help you out and to help you through your graduate experience here at James Madison University.
The graduate school here is a great choice.
The education that you receive is top-notch.
It's one of the best in the country. And from here, everything is possible.
Take a look and see if UNC.
Dukes up 79-30, 7:33 to go. Some folks came in today and got a free ticket. We were talking about the topic of food, by the way. The Dukes teaming up with the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. And folks have brought in 2 non-perishable food items today, received a free ticket to today's ball game. The Dukes are participating on the men's side in the Governor's Holiday Hoops Classic 2013. It's JMU, Virginia Tech, VCU, and Hampton. The Dukes will be facing Hampton, VCU, and Virginia Tech will play in that event as well. That's in December, right before Christmas, the Saturday beforehand. And there's a challenge going on too, a food drive challenge. Of course, here in the Harrisonburg area, the food drive going to the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. And you can help as you consider giving to this cause by donating food. Like some of the food that is being donated today will be provided or be counting towards that food drive and help the Dukes. So hopefully JMU can have a good representation of collected foods during the Governor's Hoops Classic. Just bring it on here to campus. One of the athletic facilities, there's boxes around for the food drives. Driving to the hole and scoring. Nope, going to call a charge on Kirby Burkholder. Wipe that one off. That'll be the second personal foul against Kirby.
She took off about halfway between the inner circle and the foul line there and ran into the defender. Looked to be the right call from the official. Now JMU had 30 points in the paint in the first half, now 18 in the second half, just 8 for Alcorn State.
Here's a couple try for the paint, and we're going to get a foul on one of the Dukes, and I think they're going to call it on Jasmine Gwathmey. That'll be number 1 for Jazz. She has 5 points today, a little behind her season average of 7.3. And Tiara Frost will look to build on her average. She's got 16, 17 now.
She's 5 of 5 from the line as well.
And she hits the next. Frost with 18.
It took all parts of the rim to get her to stay at 100% on the foul line on that one.
Tatum kicks it out right side, driving in. Mickens pass here to the left wing. Gwathmey drives up, pushes the shot up, can't get it to fall. Jasmine today, 2 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 on 3-pointers with her 5 points.
Taylor Frost looking for help on the wing.
And she gets the pass to her twin, who cans 2. Her second field goal. She has 4, 79-34. Gwathmey hands it off. Mickens. She will drive. Gets cut off. Back to Jazz. Jump pass. Tatum. Off the iron. Rebound. Weak side. Griffin. Rebound. Touched back up by Gwathmey. She'll tap it out. And streaking in is Kiera Frost. Tiero gathers it on the far side. Knocked away by Jones. Gwathmey with it. She's going to need some help. Pass deflected, but into the hands of Muff Mickens.
That was good anticipation on defense by JMU. Jumped the passing lane, got the steal.
Mickens drives the paint. Jones steps into it for the bucket. Destiny has 8.
The last 4 points for JMU, she put it at 79, about a 2 or 3 minute drought between baskets there for JMU.
That's a new season high, as she had 6 against Virginia in the season opener. And we have a
timeout on the floor.
Should be a, well, probably a 30-second timeout.
Courtney Cooper will check back in. We'll see who goes out for Alcorn State. Field goal percentage this afternoon, JMU at 56% right now, Alcorn State at 26%. JMU holds opponents to about 35% per game, so they will improve that average after today's game, pending everything holds.
Basketball not the only other team in action today for the Dukes. JMU swimming and diving wraps up the Georgia Tech Invitational down in Atlanta. The Dukes went into today's action in 5th among the 9 teams. Yesterday they won the 200-yard medley relay, a school record. There's a turnover in the back and laying it in, Destiny Jones. She's got 10. She's 2 away from tying her career best, which was set against Maine in 2012.
25 turnovers for Alcorn State, forced by JMU.
Ball knocked away. There's another near turnover. Foul, count the bucket.
Guess who?
It's Tiara Frost. She has 20 now. Mickens picks up foul number 1. Foul number 4 against the Dukes as a team. 16 fouls, incidentally, for the Braves. And Tiara Frost back to the free throw line. Can't complete the 3-point conventional play. Rebound, Tatum. Mickens drives back out. Jones. Gwathmey. Jasmine. And we're going to get a charge called against Jasmine Gwathmey.
A little bit out of control there. Lost the ball, and Tiara Frost was right there to take the charge.
I think Jazz just a little out of sorts today.
Early on in the season, you have the lead that you do have. I'm sure Jasmine maybe a little bit upset with herself, but in the grand scheme of things, team playing well overall.
Nikki Newman reported back in for the Dukes. She taps that rebound free. Comes out eventually, Griffin with it. Tatum. Drives. Gives it off to Jones. Everybody on this side of the court sees a free, wide open Nikki Newman, but there were a lot of purple jerseys in between.
She had her hands up. She was ready for it if given the opportunity. Timeout on the floor.
It is our last of the media timeouts, 83-36. Back with a final 3:59 after this timeout. As you're watching JMU Women's Basketball on Matazone HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
I knew going to JMU would be more about just getting a master's.
I just knew that it was the place for me.
I feel as though that I'm a part of the institution.
You will never meet a stranger. Everyone is always willing to help you out and to help you through your graduate experience here at James Madison University.
The graduate school here is a great choice.
The education that you receive is top-notch.
It's one of the best in the country. And from here, everything is possible.
Sitting down with the man, it is.
Yep. It's feeding time at the Electric Zoo. T-shirts being tossed out into the crowd right now with 3:59 to play.
They already got chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A. Why not give them a little bit extra?
It's not exactly T-shirt weather outside. I was in Indiana yesterday with the men's basketball team in Chicago last night, basically, and when I got back to Harrisonburg, I thought I had turned back to Chicago. I mean, the weather, the wind was about the same, the temperature. In fact, ran into a snow squall coming down 81 from Reagan Airport last night.
I saw that Matt Schoner had commented on that status, and he said, then one of his own said it was a high of 5 overnight or something like that. So I'm sure that was not fun at all, to say the least.
It was a lot of travel this weekend for yours truly. We'll head back on the road again Tuesday as the Dukes on the men's side at Winthrop on Wednesday night against the Eagles. Ball taken away by Griffin. Here's Tatum. Leads the pass to Newman. Back to Tatum. She's going to pull up for the 3. Off the iron. Rebound. Griffin knocked it out of bounds.
Tough play, but good hustle by Delisha Griffin right there to try to fight for the rebound.
She was, I mentioned, the Southeastern District MVP, all Tidewater first team, all region first team, all state second team, 2-time Chesapeake Sports Club Female Player of the Year, also lettered in track and field. Ta Frias may want to recruit her for the track and field program here.
It's going to be hard for Alcorn State to get rebounds. Here goes Lauren Okafor.
Okafor like a point guard, taking it strong to the hole.
I was about to say JMU has their size out on the floor right now. At least 4 players over 6 feet tall on the court, along with Amani Tatum.
Here comes Cunningham back in. Jasmine Gwathmey reports back in. Newman will go to the bench with 2:59 to go. And Okafor at the free throw line. She'll shoot a couple after she was fouled by Kiero Frost, who has her 3rd now. Okafor drops it in. She has 5. Former Providence Friar.
Under 3 minutes to play now.
That foul by Griffin. Tatum knocks it away, another turnover.
It's interesting to see both men's and women's teams playing defense this year with those hand check rules. You saw Amani Tatum there trailing on the sideline, leading with her hips as opposed to putting the wrist on the player. Officials now told to call that a foul, as we've seen early on in the college basketball season.
Oh, catch here on the left wing. Inside it goes. Okafor tries to power it up and draws contact again. She'll get a chance to go back to the free throw line here at the combo with 2:33 to go. Tuse with a foul, number 2. Okafor a little strong off the iron.
Okafor
6
now,
for Lauren.
4. She does have good touch, though, Kurt, for a post player at the foul line.
And excellent opportunity for the Braves. Tusi missing on the free shot. That she'll get a chance to go to the free throw line now, as Jones whistled for her first personal.
And we have Duke Dog behind us going into the stands. Not sure why, just trying to take the whole game in.
Okafor 6 points, by the way, at JMU career best on the young season, young portion of her career, although she's been here for a year plus now. Knocks that ball out of bounds.
Not sure what they're chanting this time around, Kirk.
We'll leave that one.
Oh,
I could hear them.
It's one of those chants.
We'll leave it, yeah. Timeout for Alcorn. Hey, tomorrow you can join us on Madison HD Sportsnet. We'll be at O'Neill's Grill over on University Boulevard. Just head out of the combo, take a left, keep going a little ways, and it'll be on your left-hand side there. At O'Neill's, we have our weekly fan and press luncheons with basketball coaches. Kenny Brooks will be on deck to start things first. He'll be right after noon tomorrow. Normally we've been going with Kenny at about 12:30, but now the football portion of our weekly press conferences are completed. So Kenny tomorrow at noon, followed by about 12:30. It'll be Coach Matt Brady of the men's basketball Dukes. We'll talk about this game, the Dukes men's game against Valpo yesterday in Detroit, and the women's game at Richmond as well, and upcoming week. That's tomorrow at noon from O'Neill's Grill on University Boulevard. Tatum with an easy takeaway. And she dribbles it out of bounds because of the hustle play for Jasmine Cunningham.
Cunningham going one-on-one with the Dukes guards today, holding her own. Has been really aggressive on defense, paid off there, caused the turnover. Team now back in possession.
.126 remaining. Cunningham up top, wheels it around into the corner. Frost with Gwathmey. And she got the shot off, just does hit the back of the iron as the horn was sounding. Okafor with that rebound. Tatum will bring it up again. Griffin kicks it out. Tatum back to Griffin again. Working on that block. Griffin gets it to tumble in. And that is the first career points for Griffin. So a couple of first-time scorers for the Dukes, Tatum and Griffin, and they worked it on that play.
You'd think if JMU gets the ball back, they'll hold for the rest of the clock, but Angela Mickens is the only Duke who's seen the court today to not score.
But she facilitated.
Oh, yes.
How about that?
She did.
Up and under move. Blocked by Okafor. Out of bounds off Okafor. 25.6 ticks to go.
5 Dukes in double figures in scoring today. Nobody in double figures in rebounding rather. Toya Jiggets with 8.
And a foul on Okafor. Wilson Reed will get a chance to chip in a couple of more. She has 6 on the day. And Angelica Wilson-Reed hits one. I would imagine we had a good number of Alcorn fans watching, since a lot of their players are from dotting across the country from their hometowns, like San Diego and out in the Northwest, Texas, Tennessee, not to mention the home state of Mississippi. That's a three-pointer. Frost with 23. And Dukes will take the air out of the basketball as the final horn does sound here at the Convocation Center. And the Dukes with the victory, 87-42. A lot of contributions by a lot of the Dukes here today, and quite honestly, Dukes were certainly favored in this game. Alcorn coming in as a big underdog, and so to get out of this game what the Dukes get, a lot of playing time for a lot of players and a lot of contributions.
Exactly, that ball distribution, Kurt, that we talked about throughout the ball game really paid off in big dividends for the Dukes. You had Destiny Jones, Toya Jenkins, Precious Hall, Kirby Burkholder, and Crystal Ross all score at least 11 points. Precious Hall leading the way with 17. And JMU also able to force, how many turnovers? 29 turnovers, just 11 for the Dukes. So points in transition off of turnovers. Big for the Dukes. Heading to the locker room now, happy and preparing for the next game. They won't be back, though, at the Convocation Center for a while.
Yeah, it will be sometime, actually, December the 18th when they face the Commodores of Vanderbilt here. And we'll bring you up to date on their score and more coming up. Right now, a quick break, and we'll wrap it up here from the JMU Convocation Center. Your final score, JMU 87, Alcorn State 42. You've been watching JMU Women's Basketball on Madison HD Sportsnet, presented by the JMU Alumni Association.
Instead of asking yourself, where did those 4 years go? Think about where the next 40 will take you. Be involved at Madison. Dukes from day one, alumni for life.
Welcome back to the James Madison University Convocation Center, where today the Dukes improved to 4-0. It's the fourth time in 6 seasons. The Dukes are now 4-0 to start the year. 87-42 was today's final. Some other scores from around the league, or around, should say, JMU's future opponents. The only other league team in action today, Delaware, leading at Ryder 53-45. That with 4:25 remaining. North Carolina easily out in front of Coppin State, 75-39. North Carolina, future foe for the Dukes. That's 8:06 to go in that ball game. And Vanderbilt, a future opponent. Next home game for the Dukes will be against the Commodores, the SEC, 33-23 against the Dayton Flyers. And that at halftime there in Nashville, Tennessee. For the Dukes here today, as we take a look at the final numbers in this ball game, it was 25% shooting from the field for the visitors, 11 for 44, 3 of 11 on three-pointers, 27.3%. For the Dukes, they shot 56.5%, 35 of 62, 7 of 16 from beyond the arc, 43.8. The Dukes at the free throw line, 10 for 19 after a bad. They were at one time 2 for 10. So picked it up there, 52.6% for the game. As in the second half, they were only 3 for 4. Points and rebounds. Cunningham finishes with no points and 4 boards. And let's see here. Kiera Frost with 5 rebounds and 4 points. Toussaint had a rebound. Kiera Frost finishes with a game-high 23 points on 6 of 22 shooting, 5 rebounds. Wilson Reed with 9 points and 5 boards, 2 points for Wells, 4 for Cooper, who also had a rebound. For the Dukes, Destiny Jones tied her career high with 12 points. She hit the Chick-fil-A Nuggets bucket as well. She was 6 of 7 from the field. 3 rebounds for Jones. Tatum, 4 points on a field goal and 2 free throws, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Guafney, 5 points. Didn't have a good shooting game, just 2 for 7, 5 rebounds. Okafor, 6 points and 3 boards. Griffin, 2 points and 3 boards. Jiggets, 11 points and 8 rebounds. Precious Hall, 17 points. 15 of those in the first half. She finished with 4 rebounds. Burkholder, a quiet night for Kirby, 11 points, only 3 rebounds. But she didn't play that many minutes today as well. Ross off the bench with 12 points and 3 boards. Newman, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Mickens did not score and did have 6 assists, right on her season average. A couple of other numbers that stand out. The Dukes out rebounding, but only by a margin of 9 today, 39-30. They had a plus 17 coming in. And let's see here, turnovers, 29 for Alcorn, 11 for JMU. And points in the paint, that's a big one. Holy cow. 51 points in the paint for JMU. No, 52 for JMU, 10 for Alcorn. And bench points, the Dukes dominant there too, 41-2. Of course, the bench for the Braves not quite as deep.
No, JMU did a great job of getting second chances tonight. You see that specifically in the paint off of misses. You had Jasmine Guathme, who was distributing the ball very well, Angela Mickens. Tara Reed, though, for Alcorn State, the play that she had, her shots, the 22 of them accounted for just about half of her team's shots today. You see why she's such a coveted player in that system. But for JMU, to be able to get all of this playing time for the different players, JMU has 10 conference or non-conference games left before conference play begins here at home against Delaware on January 12th. So in the next calendar year, JMU will start all of that. But to get all this experience right now will pay off big. At least in theory, you think that it should pay off big for the Dukes, as they now will head to play Pittsburgh, as you mentioned, Kurt. Or no, excuse me, they'll head down to the Gulf Coast Showcase at the end of this month. So for the Dukes, have a little bit of time off. Thanksgiving break coming up. Get some time off, rest with the family, and then get ready for more basketball coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah, I'm not sure when they're actually traveling. They play on Friday night, so they may be traveling either late Wednesday or on Turkey Day itself. So not sure what the situation is from that perspective. But the Dukes, they do play UCLA next. There will be a lot of interest in that in name alone. But it will be a good challenge for Kenny Brooks here in his 12th year as he picks up win number 256. The Dukes win number 4 on the season. And the Braves of Alcorn State continue to be brave, facing some pretty tough opposition. Drop to 1-4. And the Dukes with their first meeting against a team from the Southwest Athletic Conference. Some folks we need to thank that helped to bring you today's matchup here on Matazone HD Sportsnet. The women's basketball SIDs here, Devin Howard and Brian Hansen. JMU Assistant Athletics Director John Martin. Executive producer was John Salem. Director today was Jake Tomko. Also thanks to the rest of the telemedia production staff, all the camera operators here today. This afternoon's match was presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association, Comcast Sportsnet, the JMU Graduate School, Telos Wireless. Also the JMU Bookstore, Residence Inn, and Fox Hill Townhomes. Our next Matazone HD Sportsnet coverage is women's basketball on December the 18th when the Dukes host the Commodores of Vanderbilt. Tip-off is 7 o'clock. Pregame coverage begins at about 6:50 on that Wednesday evening. For John Simpson, I'm Kurt Dudley. Once again, our final score, JMU 87. Alcorn State with 42. Good evening, everyone, from the JMU Convocation Center. This has been a Matazone HD Sportsnet production presented to you by the JMU Alumni Association.